that endless skyway. I saw below me that golden valley. This land was made.
I apologize about that little video hit towards the end of Bernie Sanders' speech. The former mayor of Burlington, Vermont, on the shores of Lake Champlain, making it official. He had kind of a soft launch last month, I guess you'd say, but entering the Democratic race. He's an independent senator, entering the race to become the Democratic presidential candidate in 2016. We're opening up our phone lines, hearing from you and your thoughts of what Bernie Sanders brings to the presidential race. And again, we do apologize about the video going in and out, but we will continue with your comments and calls. Here's how to join the conversation. For Democrats, it's 202-748-8920. Republicans, 202-748-8921. And for independents and all others, 202-748-8922. You can also leave your comments at facebook.com/cspan or send us a tweet at cspan. Lots of tweets, and we'll get to those too. But let's hear from you. What does Bernie Sanders, now I guess officially the second in the Democratic race for the nomination, the Democratic Party, next to Hillary Clinton, although we'll hear from Governor Martin O'Malley, and who apparently will make his announcement this weekend. Let's go to calls to Anchorage, Alaska on our Republican line. And Vicki, welcome.
Hi, how are you? I am really enthused about this. This is what the Republicans have been supposed to be standing for, and I don't know what happened to them. They got both houses, and they should have done some actions to halt that presidential overreach, and they should have gotten rid of Holder a long time ago. You know, so they just sold us out. And I'm very upset, and we do need. Why are we giving millions of dollars to foreign countries when we have children starving here? I agree with everything that he said. I wish my party would stand up and get a backbone there and stop cowarding to special interests.
Bernie Sanders coming onto the stage a little earlier than expected this afternoon. We'll show all of it to you again this evening, 10 o'clock Eastern here on C-SPAN. Next up is Seattle, and Michael, welcome. What do you think Bernie Sanders brings to the presidential race?
Well, I'm so fired up and excited. As FDR said, the test of progress is not whether we add more to the abundance of those who have much, but whether we provide enough for those who have too little. Bernie Sanders has the clearest and boldest agenda to see to it that those of our fellow citizens today who are living in the dark shadows of poverty have the means and resources and wherewithal to come out and enjoy the bright sunshine of opportunity, highlighted by the fact it is disgraceful and shameful that the wealthiest country on earth has literally 23% of our children living in poverty, and the Republicans honestly believe in an Ayn Randian survival of the fittest, trickle-down economics, which will actually see the Grand Canyon-esque chasm between the powerful, privileged, and the powerless will grow ever greater. Go Bernie Sanders. I am so fired up and so excited about his campaign.
Next up, the side of the Reagan Presidential Library, Simi Valley, California. On the independent line, it's Marty.
Yes, hi. Well, as far as what he brings to the race, you know, it's fun to hear all these lofty things, right? But the measure of any candidate is the small little details. And all anybody has to know when they listen to Bernie Sanders, or for that matter, a lot of other folks, is when they demonize 50% of the people in the country, and in the same breath say, if we all come together, we can accomplish great things. How can you demonize half of the country and expect to bring people together to solve problems?
And who do you, Marty, who do you think Bernie Sanders demonized in his comments here at Burlington?
All Republicans.
Okay, thanks for the comment. I'm sorry, go ahead. Finish up.
For dirty air, all this other stuff.
Thanks for your comments. To Anna next up, who's in Essex, Maryland, on our Democrats line.
Honey, I am so for Bernie Sanders. He speaks right to me. I am 86 years old, and he talks to me like he is my father. And believe me, we need a man in that White House, not somebody that's got his hand out looking for money. This is a marvelous man. He is a man. Thank you so much.
Bernie Sanders mentioned in his speech that he's there in Vermont, obviously, but heading to Iowa and also to Minnesota in the coming days. We're taking your comments on Twitter, too. You can send us a tweet at C-SPAN. This one is from Chelsea, who says, Senator Sanders is laying out a plan for USA that's citizen-friendly. How refreshing. From Mike, who says, Senator Sanders notes weaknesses in labor law and standards rings true with many greedy rich GOP sponsors won't like that. Jim says, however, hi, I'm Bernie, and I want to take everything you own and distribute it as I see fit. To Bakersfield, California, Republican line. Nora, welcome. What do you think that Bernie Sanders brings to the presidential race?
I think he brings a breath of fresh air. Here in the land of Kevin McCarthy, we're changing our minds. It's unbelievable how the Republicans can stand by and let this happen to this country. I stand with Bernie Sanders. I changed my mind about the Republican Party.
All right, here's Jake in Harrisonburg, Virginia, independent line.
Hello.
Hi, Jake.
I'm a student. I'm 23 years old. It's great to see this man get out there and speak for us. I'm a millennial. I've never been so energized for a political candidate. So many people in my generation have been waiting for this man to come along and cast his hat in the ring. It's about time we have somebody speaking for us and not somebody speaking at us.
Can you tell us, you mind telling us who you voted for in 2012?
I voted for Barack Obama. I actually thought that we would have some great progressive change, and we've had change, but I've been disappointed. We haven't seen as much change as we wanted.
Okay, here's Kevin next up, Fort Collins, Colorado, Republican line.
This is Kevin from Colorado. I'm a proud Republican, and I'll tell you, Bernie's changed my mind. Electrical engineer at HP. My job's in China. My health care's gone away, and I think we need a change here. I'm not seeing it with the Republicans. I mean, all they're talking about is shipping our jobs overseas, and Bernie's talking about taking care of them and protecting them. So I'm going to vote for Bernie.
Let's look at Facebook. It's facebook.com/cspan. Lots of posts there, too. This one is from Byron, who says that socialism and 90% of tax rate, no thanks. Also from Max Steinberg, who says that I'm a Republican, but I think Bernie Sanders is a great politician. I completely disagree with his politics, but he is truly honest and not influenced by others. Daniel says pretty much how I feel about him, too, but I am a conservative. He's his own man. That is rare in politics. And Troy says he wants everyone to pay 90% of your income to the government, right? And there's lots more. Facebook.com/cspan. Haddonfield, New Jersey, next up, the independent line. And Mary Alice, welcome. Go ahead.
Thank you. I just wanted to say that my husband and I are thrilled that Bernie Sanders is finally decided to run for president. We hope that he is not frozen out by the corporate media and special interests with all the money to gag him and block him from the rest of us. We're not sure how many people are going to be able to see him and listen to him on C-SPAN, but we're hoping that somehow, some way, his voice will get through in this country, because the things that he stands for are they're obvious. It would be counterintuitive for people to be against some of the things that he wants to do for the middle class in particular. And as far as the 90% tax rate of those people who are afraid of socialism is concerned, that is a red herring scare tactic. There is so much money in this country. There is absolutely no need for any individual or group to pay 90% of their taxes unless our country would have faced some kind of terrible reverses financially, in which case we wouldn't have that possibility anyway. So
go Bernie.
Go Bernie.
That 90% rate was talked about during his comments, also during an interview today on CNBC with John Harwood. And some reaction to that, too, from Jean in Ohio at C-SPAN, is where we're taking your tweets. Tax rate under Eisenhower was actually 91%, and she says the economy grew faster than it ever has since. Lots of your calls ahead. George in Reading, Connecticut, and looking for your thoughts on what Bernie Sanders brings to the 2016 race.
Stand up for Bernie. God bless him. I'm a Democrat all my life. finally, someone who's going to stand up for the poor. God bless him.
Okay, Framingham, Massachusetts. Next up, right next door to Thomas, Republican line.
Hi. I think it's important for me to say, first of all, I am uneducated. I only have an 8th grade education. I am an African American, and I am a Republican and very conservative. It is Republican values and that has saved me and that has helped me to rise up and become my own man. At 15 years old, my father threw me out of the house, and he saved my life at 15 years old in the middle of winter. And I'm sick and tired of these liberals to the left continuing to enslave the black people mentally. They are enslaving the minority by saying what they're going to do and how they're going to do it and to help the poor. In fact, the only way that I was able to help myself was by my conservative Republican right-wing friends that have came to my rescue and told me, you got to pull yourself up by your bootstraps. They were there to help me. They were there to guide me. And Bernie Sanders, I applaud him because I believe anybody who comes out and has the guts to run for president, first of all, should be applauded. And I'm glad that he's going over to the Democratic side because they need a choice. But I'm sick and tired of everybody always trying to blame the Republican Party. This is one African-American black man and a proud Republican, proud to live in America. And I thank God of what my father did. I thank God that the Republican Party stands for good traditional values. We miss that in America today.
All right, Thomas, a couple more minutes of your phone calls. Do want to let you know about our upcoming coverage, Road to the White House coverage 2016. Rick Santorum is making a campaign announcement tomorrow in his hometown of Butler, Pennsylvania. We'll have that live Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern. And on Thursday, it's Exeter, New Hampshire. Former New York Governor George Pataki is making an announcement. That, too, will be live 11 a.m. Eastern on C-SPAN. And going into the weekend, former Maryland Governor Martin O'Malley expected to announce he's running for the Democratic race, and that'll be live Saturday morning right after Washington Journal at 10 a.m. Eastern. We'll show today's Bernie Sanders announcement to you tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern. There was a moment or two we lost some video at the end, but it's all there, so we'll have it for you tonight at 10 and also online at cspan.org. Back to calls to Fremont, Texas, and Ronnie, who's on our independent line there.
Yes, sir. I'd just like to say we finally got somebody good running for president, so everybody needs to get behind him.
What do you think he brings to the race, Ronnie? That's our question. What do you think Bernie Sanders brings?
I think he's just trying to get a fair shake for the middle class, you know, fair wage.
Okay, here's Lester in Beloit, Wisconsin, Democrats line. Hi.
How are you today?
Doing well. How are you?
Good. All I got to say is they ought to get somebody in there that does something to help our people over here get in business and so forth. They bring these foreign people over here. They give them 10 years tax break where they don't have to pay no taxes. They give them money to get started in the business. What do they do to help our people here in our country? Nothing.
All right, our question for you this afternoon has been, what does Bernie Sanders bring to the presidential race? Lots of comments on Twitter at C-SPAN. Angela says, Sanders as president brings me hope. One more here from Craig, who says, yawn, I would like to see a real challenge to Hillary Rodham Clinton, but this cannot be it. Phillips in Hollywood, Florida, on our Republican line. What are your thoughts?
Thank you for having me. I am proud to call myself a Republican. I recently became one as well. But I do respect Senator Sanders in this effort to support the middle class and provide the ability to grow the middle class. But 19th century left-wing Marxist policies championed by Karl Marx aren't going to work. They've proven not to work. Anybody who has Google can Google what's going on in Venezuela. That's what happens when you implement socialist ideas. Anybody but Hillary Clinton, and that's me as a Republican speaking, but Bernie Sanders just makes Obama look like a conservative, so that's not really going to work for me.
All right. Thanks for your call. One more here from Florida to Clearwater. And Ray, also on our independent line.
Yes, I used to be a Republican.